Welcome back to Love Letters to Lois by Art. Art was my grandfather and Lois was my grandmother, and these letters were written in 1944 when they were just 21 years old, beginning of their relationship, had only met just a few times, and were already engaged after 3 months via letter. Today's letter is dated July 8th, 1944. It begins, "Dearest Lois, that announcement was letter perfect." So he's talking all about the fact that she's writing up their engagement announcement for the papers. How exciting. Couldn't see a thing wrong with it, honey, honestly. Putting in armed forces just seems too long. Just USMC is sufficient. I asked all the fellows all around if they could find anything wrong, and they could find nothing outside of that. Send me a copy of it when it gets back from the papers, okay? I will do the same from my paper back home. I asked my folks in the letter that I wrote to them yesterday to look for it when it gets printed. Does that take care of it now, honey? And the next part, she must be telling him about some letters that she has found from the past, much like me finding these letters from the past. He writes, "I would have loved to have seen some of those old letters. Could have given me plenty of ideas on the art of writing. I bet some of them had some really fun things in them. Say, Lois, did any of these old gents even propose via mail? Because that's what he did. Just wondering is all. So Ruth is almost ready for her big day, huh?" Ruth is Lois' sister, and she would become the maid of honor in her sister's wedding this very month. I actually found the marriage write-up from the paper way back then. It still exists. And here it is, Ruth Elizabeth Ritchie. And Miss Lois Ritchie of Washington, D.C. was the maid of honor and the only attendant. Continuing on, he writes, "The Ritchie family is sure getting bigger. Maybe in a little while it will enlarge even more." Meaning, of course, you and I. Say hello to Ruth if you write to her. Hope, honey, that you have not forgotten about our telephone call for Sunday. In today's letter I received from you, you write that you're going to be going swimming. I'll try to call anyway at the time that we spoke about, and if it doesn't work, I'll try again later that evening. Can you imagine having to schedule time to talk to your fiancé? I mean, we really have it good today. We can just talk to anybody anytime we want. I can't tell you, little one, when I will be actually scheduled to come back up there. I won't know anything until we hit Cherry Point. I'll be going there for sure on Friday, okay? Here are a few pictures, honey. I hope that you like them. Do let me know what you think of them. I hope one of my letters gets to you soon. I write you every day. I still haven't received one since Thursday. Don't know what in the world is wrong. Darling, I think of you all the time. Playing cards on the beach this afternoon, and the boys more than once had to say, 'Keep your mind on the cards and stay away from Washington.' I'm afraid that's impossible. I go to sleep every night holding you in my arms. Nothing bad now, huh?" Well, not writing much tonight, honey. Hopefully the pictures will overcome that. I will hear you on the phone tomorrow. Bye now. With all of my love, Art. And I just thought I would share the little marine emblem at the top of each one of his pages that he writes in his letters, with the date always, and Lois saving every single thing and where they're from. So this letter, he was in Edenton, North Carolina, and his next stop on Friday will be Cherry Point. So to recap, they meet in Washington, D.C. He goes off across the country to California, where he begins training school. He's there for an entire month. They get engaged. He comes back. They get to see each other. He gets reprimanded because he just took too long to come back from that leave. And then he's off to Edenton, North Carolina. He gets to see her one more time before he's now heading off to Cherry Point, North Carolina, where he imagines that's where they're going to be getting married and setting up their home together.